Hi everybody, Lori here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have several projects to share with you featuring new products from the latest Christmas in July release with Waffle Flower. I'm going to be featuring 3 new postage collage designs. I think they're all the rage right now. I love the postage theme. First up is the Postage Collage Poinsettia stencil set. So these are like layering stencil sets that give you that postage theme. Here's the Postage Collage Snowman stencil and the Postage Collage Gingerbread. So you've got the Christmas theme going on with the postage. There's also some Christmas banner dies. These are fun little holiday themed banner dies. And then Sub-Sentiment Merry die cuts. These are like pre-printed little sentiment strips. I love to use them, but I actually didn't use them on my projects today, but I did want to show them to you because they are fun to have. Okay, I'm going to start with the Postage Collage Poinsettia stencil set. And there are 4 stencils in this layering stencil set that create beautiful poinsettia looking postage stamps. So I have a panel of Hammermill white cardstock trimmed to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. There are registration marks on the stencils, and they're also labeled like 1 out of 4, 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4. So this is stencil 1, and it tells you on the stencil, it says the background. So you know I'm blending the background. It's kind of nice when that's labeled. And I decided to do the whole background out of this dark pine ink. This is a Pawsitively saturated ink by Simon Says Stamp. Also want to mention I'm using a Simon Says Stamp white glass mat, and it holds perfectly the largest Waffle Flower grip mat. Sticks to it. I've just been leaving it on there, and then it holds your panel white cardstock down, holds your stencil down, and it also holds your ink down. So it's kind of like an all-in-one. I love this large size. And a lot of different looks you can get with these postage collage. I'll show you because I'm going to do 3 different designs. For this first one, I did very easy. All one color per stencil. So that first one was pine ink. And now here I'm using Cheeky. Again, a Pawsitively saturated ink. A very light, kind of corally red. And I'm not doing anything gradient. I'm just kind of like giving a flat light wash. I don't want it to be too intense. I want it to be kind of light, but whatever the case. Okay, so that's stencil number 2. Here's stencil number 3, which is the rest of the poinsettia. Now for this one, I'm going a little bit darker. So I chose blush ink, which is the darker shade in that Cheeky blush pucker family. And if I forget to mention a supply, I'll have everything listed in my description box if you're watching this on YouTube. Okay, so I'm just going over the whole entire stencil with that blush ink. I am trying to make it so that it's darker than that previous shade I did on stencil number 2. I want a little bit of contrast, but I'm not introducing a new color. Okay, last stencil. This is 4, and this is kind of like the foliage. So I pulled out Cabbage ink. And I want it to be green, but I still want to keep that pine, that dark pine in the background. So I'm going to have 2 different greens going on here. And I am switching back and forth. This is a Waffle Flower blender brush, which I love. And I also use the Simon Says Stamp blender brushes. In the next, you know, when you got to get little nooks and crannies and nitty gritties, I pull out some of those little detail blend, like right here. Right here, I'm using one of those detail blender brushes by Waffle Flower. I love those. So I pulled out Woodsy just for the centers of those poinsettias. And that is finished. Look at that, how easy that was. And then I'll pull out the Postage Collage Die. This is an older die, but I love it. And it coordinates with all the A2 postage collage. So there's different sizes. This is the A2 version. So 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, but there's larger, slim. I think there's all different kinds of sizes. I like the A2. I just like stick to the regular, and there you have it. Now you can cut these apart if you want to make like individual little stamps. I'm leaving it all intact. And I'm moving on to the Postage Collage Snowman stencil set. Now this one is only 2 stencils. But I decided to shake it up a little bit and make each square background a different color. And so I'm going to be using Pawsitively saturated ink, starting with a pink. This is Carnation. And I don't want to go too dark, kind of let this one be a little bit pastel-y, just kind of like a pastel-y rainbow for the snowman. I don't know, I was just feeling it. A fun thing is that I'm just using the other stencils to kind of mask off the sides, and they stick to that grip mat. It's so easy. Rather than using a bunch of Post-it tape, you can just use those stencils and then just wipe them off with your stamp chamois, and you got no muss, no fuss. Okay, so here's lemonade for that third, and then down here I've got celery, and yeah, we're going in rainbow order. Now, you can see that this is blending the green in the eyeballs and the mouth, but I'm going to go back in later with a black and a detail brush and make that the eyes and the mouth black, because I don't really want rainbow eyes and mouth for the snowman. Wanted a little bit of contrast there. Okay, rounding out the 6 square with lilac ink. And here I pulled out this teeny tiny little, what is this? The shader 0, is it 0 plus brush? Anyway, it's such a tiny little brush. Whole pack of them there, you can see. And I'm using Distress ink in black soot. And I'm just going around the arms and the eyes and the nose. Now that I'm looking back, maybe I should have made the arms brown because they're like twigs, but I didn't think of that at the time. I mean, you can make this as intricate and, you know, detailed or simple as you want. Okay, so I did, you know, add that black. I think that's a nice little contrast for the eyes and the nose. Now here's the second stencil, and it's got the little carrot noses. So I pulled out another little blender brush, and I'm using peachy ink going around for all the little carrot noses. And then you've got the buttons. You got the little buttons on the snowman. And you could do a lot of fun things with that. I'm going to make them all gray, but I'm thinking you could do enamel dots, embellishments. You can make them all different colors. You get a lot of fun things you can do to customize these snowmans. And another thing I thought of for the little snowflake, you could do some glitter paste. Like if you want to get really wild and crazy. I kept it pretty simple. Pulling out that Postage Collage Die again. Take this off camera. Run it through my die cutting machine. And I love how this looks. I just can't stop with the Postage Collage. Once you get in there, I'm telling you, you're never coming out. Look at those snowmen. So you got the snowman. You got the poinsettia. And we're going to do one more. The Postage Collage Gingerbread. Okay, so this is the first stencil, and I'm going to do the whole thing like I did on the first one, a green background. I'm not going as dark. This time I pulled out Concord 9th Parsley ink, and I'm just blending it for a nice green. So I was thinking these are all like gingerbread cookies, and so it's all brown, unless you want to change the colors. But I thought a nice green backdrop would be a nice contrast for the brown gingerbread. Okay, so I pulled out wheat, another Concord 9th color, and I'm blending the gingerbread. Now for these, I did go slightly gradient. I am blending a little bit darker on the bottom, so it's like a little bit darker brown, and it fades up to a little bit lighter. Sometimes I just feel like doing that, just to live on the edge, just to shake it up. I do like the look of a gradient blend, but then every once in a while, like with the poinsettias, I went real flat, and that looks good too. So you can really just, you know, kind of shake it up. Live your best blended life. Okay, stencil number 2, there's a gingerbread. Now here's the third stencil, and this is just more detail and kind of shadow. So I pulled out nutmeg ink, which is very dark and rich. And I decided not to do everything, just did kind of the windows and that star cookie there in the middle. Down here you've got this gingerbread house, which is so cute. But I left some spots open, like the ornaments on the tree. And I don't know if that's a little sweater on the bird. I think the bird on the bottom right. I'm spitballing here, but I'm giving him a red Christmas sweater. I'm not even sure. You know what I mean? Okay, and then there's like, are these sprinkles on a cookie? I'm always in the dark trying to figure out what things are, but I'm guessing it's sprinkles on a cookie. I don't know, but we're going to go with that. The last and final stencil is just more detail. I decided to give that gingerbread house a red door. So I've got these little blender brushes by Waffle Flower and the Poppy Concord 9th ink, which is the perfect Christmas red. And I'm going around giving little details of red. So you got that nice red with that parsley background green. You got the traditional Christmas colors here. And I decided to pull in little oceanside a little kind of aqua teal. I don't know why. Just needed another pop of contrast. And I said, Laura, give it a try. You know what I mean? Sometimes, I'll tell you what, sometimes these choices can be a hit or a miss. But you never know till you try. Okay, Postage Collage Die. Take it off camera. And then you've got that detail with, though, it kind of turns it into a sheet of stamps. So you got the gingerbread. You got the snowman. You got the poinsettia. Okay, now you want to cut them apart. You want to leave them together. You can't go wrong either way, but I decided to add some postage little details. So this is the Postage Collage stamp set. And it gives you all the little, you know, like the 50 cent, the little airmail, all the little things. And it really makes it look like, you know, worn in stamps. And they have a new one. I think it's like North Pole. So it gives you these postage stamp details, but it's like holiday theme. And I need that. I need it. Because you could do this, but it's like Christmassy. But I just pulled this one out because it's what I have. Now, you don't have to add all these details, but it's just kind of fun. You know what I mean? It's kind of fun. Are you guys into stamps? Do you like stamps? I love stamps. In fact, I think I follow the United States Postal System or whatever it is on Instagram because I like seeing all their stamps. You ever seen Christina Werner, how she addresses envelopes and she puts all these fun, cool stamps on it? I love it. I love it. Okay, popping these up, all three of them on white card bases. Very simple. For sentiment, I'm trying out the new Christmas banner die. Going to do this first one out of matte gold cardstock. And it says, Happy Holidays. And then I went ahead and die cut 2 more out of white. And I'm going to stack these up to make it just slightly dimensional because it's kind of intricate. Too much labor to try to put foam tape behind that. It's easier just to die cut a couple and stack them up. So I'm using some Barely Art liquid glue. Stack the 2 white ones, top it off with the matte gold, and then I'm going to put this on the poinsettia. So I turned the poinsettia one and made it like a vertical, what do you call that, portrait style card. I love this style. The other 2 are going to be more like landscape, but it's kind of fun. For this one here, you can go either way, you know. So I put that Happy Holidays, just kind of swung it. And now this is an older, it's called Wonderful Christmas. And I'm going to emboss the sentiment from the Wonderful Christmas stamp set in white on a little strip of poppy cardstock. This is Concord 9th. By the way, in my opinion, this Concord 9th poppy cardstock is the best Christmas red. And I'm using Simon's Stamp white embossing powder. Heat that with the heat gun. I love the combination of fonts here, the Happy and the Holidays. And then I have the coordinating die to go with it. Take that off camera. I'll run it through the die cutting machine. I'm going to pop this up right in the center of this gingerbread card. So I didn't cut any of these up. I'm not opposed. I just kept them all together. Here's another Christmas banner die. This one says Let It Snow. Thought that went kind of cute with the snowman. I stacked this one up with 2 on the bottom of white. Topped it off. I believe this is Oceanside cardstock, Concord 9th. And I'm just swinging it. Just cocking it on an angle. Let it snow, let it snow. It's hard to get in the spirit when we just had 4th of July. You know what I mean? We're hanging in there, but I understand that companies got to do this early. So you have time to buy it, get it, make it, enjoy it. So we're doing Christmas in July. Here you have Happy Holidays with the Postage Collage Poinsettia. You've got the Let It Snow with the Postage Collage Snowman. I added some sparkling clear sequins. Those are by Pretty Pink Posh. And there you have it. Make sure and check out the rest of the Christmas in July release with Waffle Flower. There is a giveaway in my description box. Leave a comment for your chance to win. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.